Welcome to the first GibbonSong video, purely as an introduction. Just here to tell you the story. As you can see, the road into the northern Thailand mountains is definitely not a freeway. However, this is the most tranquil place you're going to find. Baan Khuntae village has about 300 families, all Karen Hill Tribe people living in the region. And what you're looking at here is a little bit out of the village, and effectively this is the bank. Not many people have the money to own a buffalo, but those that work and make some money and own a buffalo have a specialist buffalo person to look after the animals. We call it the bank because buffalo is quite a lot of money, and the buffalo boy looks after them, even if he's a granddad. These animals are domesticated and they are not dangerous. There's a lot of waterfalls in this region, and they have developed some dams here for the dry period. You can see the water flowing out there. That's an offtake from the local creek that goes through. One thing that's not an issue in this area is water. You'll notice all the fencing and everything around is all natural material. Bamboo is used extensively here, and it grows extensively in the region. And in the village, in the distance, that is the village. And it's like any other village. They've got roadways and they've got a school. But it is limited in education and limited in medical facilities and limited in all of the Western world's things that we take for granted. However, they do have power on in the village. Amongst our team, this is Ekraj, full-blood Karen Hill tribesman. That's me, not a pretty face. This group of people are all friends, and they're all just normal people trying to do the right thing with a random act of kindness, looking after these guys in the Hill Tribe village. And that's Vince in a pub. Jeffrey Hemmings, birdman extraordinaire, and that is our engineer when he was half decent looking. Now, one of the priorities of the GibbonSong enterprise is this coffee. Most people wouldn't have seen coffee growing, and I found it quite fascinating when I first saw it. Here we are. This is the Hill Tribe high-tech cleaning system after the flesh has been taken off of what they call the cherries, and they are the coffee beans in there. And you can see that is a preliminary wash. They do it several times. When they've finished, it goes out onto the drying racks under some protective shade, and there is the old guy just clearing off the rinsed water. This is about as authentic Hill Tribe coffee as anybody could imagine, and this guy is very pedantic about picking out anything that is not perfect. As you can see, he throws away what he needs to throw away, and there's plenty of chickens around that will eat what he doesn't want. Ekraj here doing an inspection on the beans in the slow drying process. This will provide an income for up to 60 families in this village if we can get GibbonSong coffee off the ground in Australia. This is the surrounding forest. This is truly jungle. You would travel at about 1 mile every 3 hours if you were going on foot and there wasn't a track there. The wildlife in this area, and the bird life in particular, is astounding. And one of the projects that GibbonSong is all about is saving the white-handed gibbon. This animal is rare, endangered, are now 100% protected in this area. Buntam is a highly skilled Karen Hill Tribe man, and I call him the ornithologist, because this is the man who is the GibbonSong project birdo. And anybody viewing this that wanted to see the rare northern Thailand bird life, he will be the man that you get introduced to. And this shot is obviously taken from inside one of Buntam's hides, and he's now loading feed stations to attract in some of the local birds. Buntam has become very, very well known. In fact, we entered 5 of his photographic shots into Robert Irwin's photographic competition. And this bird is a Sharma, what he calls the supermodel. When this bird turns up, everybody is very impressed because of its incredible plumage. Everybody in the hide was quite fascinated as to how you load up the feed stations to attract the bird in. You've got to be in the right area. All that moss is put in there by Buntam, and inside it is actually a concrete bath. And these are the huts that Buntam has built. So when we bring GibbonSong birdo lunatics in to do some bird watching up in the mountains south of Chiang Mai, we have the cabins to give people some level of comfort, so it's not a question of putting a swag down in the jungle. This is a very nicely equipped cabins that are in Buntam's village, which is right up in Doi Intanon mountain, not too far from Baan Khuntae village that we're doing other projects in. And I don't know a better birdman in the world to show people Doi Intanon mountain bird life. They also do a fair bit of weaving in the village here. And as you can see, it's a pretty high-tech system of sitting on the floor and doing your thing. And the scarves there are all done by different weavers in the village that come in and do this. And all the money goes to the weaver when some tourists come in and purchase it. She is not working with silk there. These people are Karen Hill Tribe. They don't have the money to be working with silk, and so they're working with cotton. But I can assure that the product they produce is really good, and a lot of visitors get very tempted into buying a few scarves, including me for my wife. And because we're in here filming, we attracted a few of the visitors to the Mai Klang Lawang village, which is where this particular little shop is. And I hope they made some money, because they have all gone through COVID the same as we have. But obviously in a remote hill tribe village, they suffered a lot more than we did in the Western world. We've come to a different area that GibbonSong has an activity, and this is the Kok River. Yes, K-O-K. The Kok River comes out of Burma or Myanmar and flows down through Chiang Rai, a northern Thailand town, city. So we have the availability of bringing visitors in. As you can see, it's got a very small engine hanging off the back. This is a traditional longtail boat on the river, and Nick and Carolyn, both GibbonSong people, part of the team. We're filming on the river here, coming out of Chiang Rai City. It's probably about 45 minutes up the river in the long tail, and as you can see, we are not hanging around. 45 minutes up to the elephant camp. And we work with the people in the elephant camp. All of the elephants they have are retired from forestry. They've got one elephant there that they got out of circus business. And it's very sport. It loves to perform, and if you don't give it a lot of attention, it lets you know. But the trip up to the elephant camp I find quite fascinating. You never know what you're going to see on this river. Yes, we're coming out of a relatively built up area of the town here, but as we go further north towards Burma, you will see there's a lot of huge bamboo growing on the side of the river. Here comes another long tail in the opposite direction, and as you can see, the rooster tail for the cooling water is quite significant. It's quite a journey, and it's not all smooth sailing. The river's not in flood here, but it's certainly at high water level. There are occasions when they can't run the boat up past the elephant camp because there's not enough water in it. But at this point in time, when I did this filming, there was plenty of water to cruise along. As you can see there, they are doing bank restoration work for anti-erosion purposes. And you'll notice as we go further along, there are some amazing topographic features, including what I believe are volcanic plugs, and they just come up out of the ground, and there's one right there. In this area, they don't really have the white-handed gibbon, which is the species we're concerned about in Baan Khuntae village, but there are curly-tail macaques up there, which are not a threatened species, and they're quite an extensive population in that whole region. The whole point of this excursion up to see the elephant camp is these animals are very, very well looked after. They are very remote, and they are all hill tribe people that look after them, and they absolutely love their elephants. You'll see the water changes a little bit here. It's starting to get a bit more rapid, and this video won't really show it particularly well. Some of these ups and downs are nearly a metre high, so it's quite an exciting trip. Absolutely safe as a bank. The skipper that they employ knows this river like the back of his hand. And on the bank there you can see there are bamboo growths there where the bamboo is nearly 150 millimetres thick and probably 40 metres high. And here comes another longtail. This is purely coincidental. We got very lucky on boat traffic coming the other way. Now we've landed on the side of the river. There is no dock, wharf, or any kind of a mooring because the water level varies. The longtail boat just drives up to the bank. These elephants love going into the river. As you can see, he's got a tide mark on it. Any visitors that come up and visit the elephant camp have the opportunity to go up into the hills on one of these elephants. It's what I call the takeaway food trail, because they just grab bits of banana trees and whatever else they find on the way through, which supplements their feeding. Elephants can eat anywhere from 150 up to 200 kilos a day, so they're extremely expensive to house properly. And this group of Karen have had to sell all of their land to pay for feeding these elephants during the pandemic, when there were no visitors coming. Effectively, the country was closed. And there's Nick performing for us. Nick's an extremely generous associate sponsor of the GibbonSong project, and has provided a lot of still photography for us to use in developing further videos. That elephant that you can see there is actually the one that they saved from a circus, and it's very spoiled and makes a big noise when you're not paying attention. This is actually Doisatep, which is the very, very religious area overlooking Chiang Mai city. The Wat there, Wat temple, same thing. It's very, very educational, but because it is probably the most religious place in northern Thailand, it has become a tourist mecca. So when we take people into Doisatep, we go at a certain time of day when it's very limited people there, because it can become a bit of a tourist circus, which most of our GibbonSong people are not really interested in.
Somebody leave to live the world. I come to go like the wind.
This is a typical small town funeral, and Eklar's just said, life comes and goes like the wind. That's what the Buddha says. Here is some Buddhist philosophy.